Hello, Presley. My name is Kimberly, and I am your social worker today. I just want to thank you for agreeing to meet with me and take some time just to get to know you. Would you be okay if we were to do just a short assessment and kind of gauge where you're at with your mental health?
Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead.
Okay. The series of questions that I need to ask you are going to be sensitive in nature. And so if anything comes up for you, by all means, I'd be happy to stop. I just need to get through these. So if you don't mind, I'll get started. There's 12 altogether. Are you okay?
Yep. Yeah, that's just fine.
Okay. So for my first question, have you experienced any recent loss, physical, financial, or personal?
Yeah, actually the past few months has been a little crazy for my family and I. I recently just have been having some big health issues, and then not long after that started, after a couple like hospital stays, my husband ended up losing his job as well. So we've been kind of low on money, and then plus bills coming in from hospital and different things like that. It's just been really hard with that loss of that income constantly coming in, and then having to deal with these different problems on the side.
Okay. That sounds like a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
What kind of health problems can I ask you are you having?
I'm not totally sure yet. I've just been getting a lot of these different headaches, and it's been affecting kind of like just daily activities. I've been losing like balance and having like different eyesight problems, different things like that. So they're just running some tests so far. We'll find out.
Well, I hope they find out soon for you. That sounds like that's got to be a lot on your mind.
Yeah, yeah, because it could be many different things, so it's a lot to worry about.
Sounds like it. Are you feeling hopeless in the present, about the present time or the future?
Um, Probably maybe a little bit about the future, just not knowing what it could be. If it could be like life threatening, and then having to leave. My husband who currently doesn't have a job, and then we have two small kids, having to maybe leave them if it is life threatening. Just how it would affect their lives in the future.
Yeah, that's understandable. Absolutely. Um, have you ever had thoughts that things would be better if you were not here or if you were dead? I know that's a strong word, but have you had any thoughts of maybe if you weren't here, things would be better?
Just in the way that if I weren't here, then my family wouldn't have to deal with these problems, and then the extra financial strain that this is causing. There wouldn't be any of these like medical bills and hospital bills and different things like that. So maybe in that kind of way, but not fully wishing that like I were dead, or that like it'd be better if I were gone or anything like that.
When those thoughts come, how long do you feel like they last? If you could put a measurement on it, or is it minutes or hours? How long do you feel like those thoughts stay?
It's probably a few hours at a time. It's never just a quick thought, but it kind of stays for a few hours, and I feel really feeling it and thinking about it for a while. But it always tends to go away after a few hours, but it comes back.
If you could gauge those for me, if I were to scale that on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being really mild and 10 being severe and extreme, how strong would you say those thoughts are when they do come?
Um, Maybe generally of like a 4, maybe 5. Certain days it can be worse, just especially how I'm like feeling physically that day. It could be worse, more of like a 6.
Okay. Um, I'm going to put you down at a 5. Is that okay? Does that sound about?
Yeah, that's pretty in the middle, so that sounds good.
Okay. Um, when you last had these thoughts, did it end with a plan of you taking your life? Have you ever had that where you follow it through with a plan?
I've never had a plan necessarily. Um, yeah, I wouldn't say I've ever had a plan to follow through with.
Okay. Have you ever had any thoughts about killing yourself in the past year?
The past year. There might have been a time within the past year, maybe before all of this started. It was a time because work was hard for both my husband and I, and this was before he lost his job, and then it also like put strain on our relationship. So could have been maybe a time there, but I wouldn't say it happened often. It was just maybe one time within the last year.
Okay. Have you ever had a history, either current, past, or present, of self-harm or self-injury?
No, I haven't.
No. Okay, I'm going to introduce you to my coworker, Maxwell. He's going to come in and ask another series of questions just to help us put this assessment together. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, thanks, Presley.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi, Presley.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too.
We appreciate you taking some time to talk to us today. I know some of this stuff is tough to talk about. First and foremost, though, it's normal to have these feelings that you're having. I want you to know that, especially with all that you have going on. And we appreciate you being willing to talk about it, and hopefully we can help you through it and see where we get at the end of it, okay?
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Do you have any questions or anything on your mind at this point before we proceed?
Not right now. Maybe at the end, but yeah, not right now.
Okay, sounds good. Do you have family members? Is there any history of suicide within your family or family members?
Yeah, so I actually had an uncle who ended up committing suicide when I was younger.
How old were you when that happened?
I was about 16, I think, somewhere within those teenage years.
Okay. Were you close to him at all, or?
Yeah, we were actually very close. He lived not far from us, and we would see him often, and we had a bunch of different like family dinners a couple times a month with him and his family. So it was really hard when that happened, especially just being a teenager like I was.
Yeah, I'm sad to hear it. Yeah, especially at 16. That's a
Yeah.
tough time to experience something like that.
Yeah, it was.
Have you felt like you've been able to cope with it okay now?
Now, yeah, at first it was hard there for a little bit, but as I've gotten older, and I feel like I've been able to cope a little bit more with it. It's been a while since that happened, so.
Okay. Have you personally ever attempted suicide in the past?
I have not, no.
Okay. Do you have any access to weapons of any kind, like firearms specifically?
Yeah, so my husband, he actually is a big like gun and knife collector. So he like orders all these different knives and guns, and so we have a few around the house.
Okay. Have you ever considered using any of the weapons to injure yourself?
Not really. I mean, sometimes I wonder like if I had a knife, like I don't know, maybe, but like I've never actually considered it more.
Okay. No specific plans then to
Yeah, I've never like sought out the knife and had it and like taken any action or plan with it. It's just been like
Okay.
it's there type thing.
Okay, because I remember you saying that there's no history of self-injury there. So
Right, yeah. So I've never followed through with anything, or never gotten that far, I guess.
okay. What do you do when you have suicidal thoughts?
I don't really know. I just kind of just go about my day with it. I don't know. There's nothing I really do. I don't usually sit down and like to tell my husband or close friends about it because I don't want them to worry too much or anything like that. So I haven't made plans. I just want them to worry thinking I'm actually going to do it. So I just kind of, they just kind of seem to run through my head a lot. But yeah, that's a good question. I don't really do much about them.
Okay, but no one you really talk to about it though outside of
Not really. Yeah, I have one friend that I've talked to before about it, but not every time that these thoughts come up. I just don't want to be a bother or anything.
Okay. Do you find that helpful though when you talk to your friend about it?
It has been helpful, yeah. So I probably should do it more, but
Okay. Do you have a timeline in mind for ending your life?
no, there's no timeline. Yeah, I wouldn't say there's a timeline.
Okay. Is there something or some kind of event that would actually trigger that to occur?
Not that I can think of. I don't know. It just depends on with like these different health issues. Like maybe if they got so bad to a point where, it was just hard to really feel like it was hard to continue or anything like that. But right now that hasn't been too pressing. So there's no real timeline or anything.
Okay. Do you have any questions for us or any comments, something on your mind?
I don't think so.
Okay. Kimberly, do you have anything else?
No, I don't. I just want to thank you for being willing to talk to us about these heavy topics. I appreciate you being vulnerable and sharing with us.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys being here.
Okay, thanks.